Tonight the creeps are taking over.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
All right, Corrosive Radio. Guys, how you doing?
Good.
All right, we got Brett.
Just peachy.
We got Brett Eidman, we got Nick LaManna, and we got Dan, whose last name I still don't know. And I'm your host, Brendan. Guys, what's going on?
Not too much.
All right, good.
Well said.
And good night.
Well said. What's new with you, Brendan?
Well, I'm moving.
Yeah?
And I didn't get to put much prep work into the show this week.
Really?
Because every day they've tried to change my closing date.
Well, this is just unacceptable.
No, it is. It is.
Where are you moving to?
I'm moving to some guy's basement right now.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have a box guy?
What?
Do you have a guy you go to get your boxes for moving?
No. I've been moving stuff in my car. But anyway, guys, let's get off me because that's very boring.
I find it fascinating. Go ahead, yeah.
All right, so what do we got going on tonight, Dan?
I believe we have a internet sensation manager calling in.
Right. It's like the man who met Andy Griffith.
Exactly, yes. Wonderful.
What does that mean?
allusion to-
What does that mean? Internet sensation manager.
He has some clients that have put out, I think, predominantly music videos. Is that right? On the internet, on YouTube.
Yeah, they put out it's under this label called the Uncharted Zone.
Yes, and basically, he himself is a character with a long and somewhat illustrious career in music. But basically, as of late, he seems to have found himself getting some rather unusual acts and putting them on YouTube in somewhat strange videos. His biggest charge would be a man by the name of Gormley, Mark Gormley. Can you pull up that video, the famous one? Is that possible?
Yes, I can, because I actually
You have it on the ready?
Well, I have it on I put it on the Facebook page.
That's
so
wonderful.
So
This guy has like the YouTube touch.
Yeah. You weren't here for our James Knight, but this is a similar type of thing. Like it's obviously it's a homemade video.
It's nowhere near as dark as James Knight.
No,
but I don't understand. So he puts the talent together,
right?
And then he says we're going to produce videos and put it out like almost on his label on YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah.
So these people are not going to him with a product. I'm talking Italian. Finish the product.
Finish the product. Yeah. Use your hands more.
Oh, I got to tell you something. I saw one of those Italian guys on game show Pyramid.
Yeah.
And you know when you go into the winner's circle?
Yes.
And you can't use your hands. They're fucked.
Did you? Wait a minute. Did you take like some sort of time machine back to 1987? I mean, what is this
the
about?
Game Show Network. It's just new.
Yeah.
They still have the pyramid?
His name is Nick Turturro, the guy from
from NYPD Blue.
Yeah. Here's the clues that were given to him. They said he invented electricity, and he's there going. They said also known for flying a kite. Pass.
And he wasn't joking.
He wasn't joking.
That's John Turturro's brother.
Obviously somebody got the brains and
the talent.
And then they had what's her name from The Sopranos on Ada, whatever.
Isn't that Turturro as well?
Yeah,
that's his sister.
That's his sister.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't think there's maybe there's one brain between the three of them.
Now you're throwing John in there too. Hey, he's a good actor.
Well,
John
no, I like John.
Right.
Okay. But the one that Nick that was on that game show was a horror show.
Right. So basically, it was the old Italian joke of like, what do you how do you know if what is Italian has a speech impediment? His arms are broken.
Right. but when he went to the winner's circle, he couldn't talk with his hands, so he was fucked.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, back to Gormley.
Well, it's not Gormley. The guy who's going to be calling is Phil Katt. Actually, just forgot his name. Hold
Bring
on.
up a picture of him. Bring up a picture so we can see.
Phil Katt Thomas. Yeah, he does. He looks like Al Pacino playing Phil Spector. That's what he looks like.
Thing, yeah.
So anyway, you want to hear? I'll play a little bit of the song, and in the introduction, you'll hear Phil Thomas talking. You okay there, Brett?
Yeah, I'm hearing voices.
That's because there's a bunch of illegals working out there.
Oh,
in our studio.
Russians?
No.
Is Captain Ivan Drago from Rocky IV
I'm
speaking
waiting
to you?
for extra $20. Me give you happy ending.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Come on, here we go.
The space happy Phil Thomas cat here. And this next music video is by singer-songwriter Mark Gormley. This is a great song. It's very, very intense. And we tried to make the music video that way as well. Here's Mark Gormley and Without You on the Uncharted Zone.
Now, I have to say, if anybody who doesn't know Mark Gormley is, it's impossible to appreciate this song without seeing the visual element of it. All right?
Well, they can follow it at home.
Yeah.
Nice rack.
She's on loan.
For those listening that can't see, nice rack.
All right, well, you get the idea.
Very cool.
You get the
I
idea.
like that synthesizer.
No, it's a great. It's a
actually
good.
it's
a
actually
good
a nice song. I always thought it was a remake of an old classic rock song when I first heard it.
And
But
he's very handsome too.
Well,
Well,
he
no, now
looks
we're
like he
just-
should be doing my taxes. That's what he looks like.
yeah. Who is somebody put I think it was on that G4 network, Web Soup said something about it looks like if your father and your high school principal had a kid. That's basically what he looks like. And he's actually been featured on there. This video was on their Web Soup, which I guess is basically like the soup. They have it on G4. Weird Al Yankovic was on doing he did
the thing
of
on
him.
the soup, right? He did.
Yeah.
He did the parody of the song, didn't he?
Yes, exactly. So
Weird Al did a parody?
yeah, he came on and just sort of imitated him, and then that it wasn't much of a parody.
Imitate this guy?
Yes, he imitated that guy right there, Mark Gormley.
Well, that says a lot.
Yeah, no, he's
Oh, no,
made
this-
it.
this-
He's go how many views?
This is over 2 million. This one.
Yeah, I mean this guy is no
Wow.
joke. I'm
What
surprised he
makes
hasn't
it
been on like
viral?
Tosh yet.
What makes it viral? How many would you think?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's got to be
Gotta be
above
millions.
100,000.
Yeah.
no, it's got to be above 100,000 for viral.
100,000? Okay.
I think viral technically
it
relates
was
to how
9.
it spread. In other words, that it sort of it spreads geometrically, like
Well-
exponentially. You know.
A couple of my videos went viral.
Yeah, so you would know.
It just gets picked up on a million different
Right.
websites. It's like everywhere you look. That's
Right, it's
where
a
it is.
virus.
Yeah.
Right, it
Yeah.
spreads basically. Yeah,
Like a fungus.
Right, exactly.
Can anybody predict? Because I know there was this. Do you remember Rebecca Black Friday?
No,
You don't remember Rebecca Black Friday?
no.
No,
It's
what was
Friday,
that?
Enlighten us.
Jessica Blue Monday.
Get in how did you not know about this? It's like 50 million hits on YouTube.
If it's current,
No,
I'm
this was
old like
this
that.
was a few years ago. But anyway, the
right.
point is that there was this company that was dedicated to taking children. I think they were trying to capitalize.
I like where this is going.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to capitalize on the beaver fever.
Okay.
The beaver
is
fever, right? And it was called Arc Productions, and they just had a knack for making viral videos.
Right.
So my question is: there really a science to it?
Well, I think one of the things that makes viral videos is if you have a network of subscribers. Like, for example, I'm putting out a video in September, which is being professionally produced, the whole deal, and I'm hoping that I'll get a network that has, like, say, 30,000, 40,000 people that subscribe to that. So as soon as you put it out, they're all going to know that this video exists. So you're going to have 30,000 to 40,000 hits immediately.
Right.
So there's a good chance of that going viral.
Right. It's got to be like a
So-
big sort of explosion type thing.
Exactly. You know, it's almost like record distribution.
Oh yeah, no, they have like entire like fields of science. I mean, like there was that book Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell that came out. But basically, people that are even involved in the spread of diseases, epidemiology, the study of that, they now try and look at it through marketing and internet trends. They try and predict what's going to go viral and like the mathematics behind how it's going to spread.
Well, that's kind of cool. Trying to apply biomimicry to to cyberspace.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
idea.
That's why I would think it would be less for it to be viral than a couple million. Because right, if there's 30,000 people with a virus, that seems to be an epidemic, right?
Yeah,
That's true.
I don't
Depends.
know, but yeah, I don't
No,
know.
it depends.
Yeah, I think it would depend on the overall population of of wherever it is. Like 30,000 people in China, they're not going to notice that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know
The
the
internet is
figures
like a
involved.
lot.
But the internet is worldwide, so it's kind of like,
But I'll tell you, there does seem to be an unexpected situation. I mean, like, in other words, can the president ever put out a viral video? I mean, like, somebody, it seems to come from people that are often off the grid, so to speak. I mean, not all the time for sure, but, major entertainers and such, it's sort of, I think it has to do with the mechanics of how it's spread, and I think, at least in how it's used in popular culture, a large part of it is whether or not the person is previously known or how big of a sort of a boom, like Brett was saying, that it comes.
And also,
from.
there are some TV shows that are using the internet as a way to get their stuff.
Sure.
Like Saturday Night Live is like doing sketches and videos and different things that are really meant for the internet, but they're doing it on their show. And as soon as it airs on their show and then they put it out on the internet, it's all over the place.
Which is ironic because they're known for pulling all their shit off YouTube. Like right away, you try and look up a skit on YouTube of SNL, like the classic ones. You just can't find them.
Well, they pulled
dude with a video camera in front of his TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they do that one. Yeah,
I still can't find the Harry Carey one that I want to watch.
Will
okay.
Ferrell is
Will Ferrell, Harry
Well,
Carey.
I put a video up that one of my sketches that I was in on Saturday Night Live, and I put it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I immediately not immediately, it took a few weeks.
They yanked it?
They yanked it. They said,
Really?
your stuff is blocked worldwide. You do not, NBC Universal owns this, and you can't put it up.
Yeah, they're known for doing that. Even stuff from their late night shows, they do that too.
Right.
Unless it's put out under their channel.
Right.
Yeah.
Which you understand.
Is it like a buyout with that? If they have the rights, did you get paid for that?
I got paid for it, but I don't own it.
right.
I'm just in it.
But I saw some of your stuff when you were on Saturday Night Live, still up there.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's gradually going off.
Right. Wait, is the one where you're still in the audience with Michael Myers? Is that still up there?
Still up there. Yeah.
Okay.
The one they pulled off was the first black Harlem Globetrotter. That just got pulled off.
Okay.
Was that's not the one? Was that the one with Jordan when
Yes.
Jordan hosted?
I actually played basketball with Michael Jordan.
No kidding.
Yeah, and I'm not
Did you get to meet him?
Yeah.
How was
yeah,
he?
no, I played basketball with him.
And
Before we rolled the cameras, I was
No
playing.
shit, really?
Yeah, he was great.
How was it?
It was a blast.
Really?
First thing he did was he threw the ball at me, and I ducked because it was coming so fast. I was
Right,
like,
right.
Plus I'm a Jew, So all of a sudden he puts it around his back, and I'm like, whoa!
Right.
Meanwhile, he was passing it to me. I
Right.
said, look, next
Wow.
time I'll be
Yeah.
ready for it.
Yeah, so
It was
you
great.
like that character, you like the Jewish character on Family Guy. Oh, he owns the pharmacy.
Right. The Mort, yeah. Although, the ironic thing is that most people know this, but back in the day, basketball was considered a Jewish sport. If you go back to like the 30s and 40s, there were talks among sociologists, you can look this up, that basically people thought that there was a gene that Jews had that made them good at basketball. In reality, all it is that it's a poor game. So whomever's really in the slums is because it's not like baseball or football where you need a lot of equipment or you need grass. So that's the thing. So there were a lot of old Jewish players that played.
And as Billy Crystal said, it was called basketball.
Yeah.
Well, originally there wasn't dribbling with basketball. It was a stationary
Right.
sport
Yeah.
that you had to, so it wasn't a lot of running.
Right, yeah, but also even the first person with in the NBA to score points was a Jew.
Wow.
Yeah.
Our guy is here. Hey, Phil, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, how you doing, Phil?
Man, I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Good. Phil, now, Phil, where are you? I thought you were in Florida.
Yeah, Pensacola.
Nice.
Now, but in our email exchange, you said you were in a different time zone.
Yeah, Pensacola's in the central time zone. It changes over somewhere around the middle of the Panhandle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
That's interesting. So tell us a little bit about Uncharted Zone here, Phil.
Well, the Uncharted Zone was started because in the early '80s, I did a crazy answering machine where I gained a huge following, and the Uncharted Zone was started because I learned that I could use my answering machine at that time, which was my media, to sell my products, sell CDs or cassettes, actually, back then.
Right off your answering
And,
machine. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Of course, they were in the record stores, but I was able to promote it right there and gain a following just with that thing. And so I thought, I want to kind of help some of the other local musicians around town that that I dig and like, and try to help them push themselves and promote themselves. So I started a segment on there called the Uncharted Zone.
Oh, okay. Phil, I got to ask
A
you
little bit later, I took it to radio, then to television, and then the internet, and here we are.
Phil, this is Brett. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Now, when you say you started with an answering machine,
Phil, I got to tell you that Brett Eidman, that's who you're talking to right now. He has the #1 single in the country called "Party All the Time, Let's Celebrate." Hey, hey.
oh, thank you.
Oh, that rocks, man! Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much, Phil. But I got it was very interesting what you said about your answering machine. Now, were you recording messages for people, like outgoing messages, or you just were pushing music on through the answering machines? I lost you on that.
Well, at first I was just doing crazy, off-the-wall, unhinged, crazy messages. As time progressed, I started incorporating some of my music, because I was already a musician. I'd recorded 45s back in the old days. And so then it just kind of evolved into a little bit of music and a little bit of comedy, I guess you could say.
That's great. That's awesome.
So wait. You said that it evolved into comedy. So I have to ask you this then. And this is a serious question. Do you make those videos so bad that they're good? Is that on purpose?
No, but that does hurt my feelings. But no, in reality, I'm just doing some wild, crazy stuff. I mean, I'm just doing art. I don't think art can truly be bad. I mean, I think if there is an appeal to it at all, it gets its emotional message across.
Right.
Who discovered you? Was it that they were calling your house? Was it a missed number? How did they say, hey, we really like what you're putting on your answering machines? Come down to the studio and we'll put that on a record.
Well, it wasn't exactly like that. I mean, it just kind of gained a following somehow. I really don't know. And the next thing I knew, it was ringing off the hook to the point I had to get a second line in the house just to make personal calls. But that was way back in the 80s. And then I just released a cassette, did some promotional appearances, did a little tour around the Southeast, and just promoted it that way. And I did real well with it. I definitely made the money back and enough to buy a car.
Well, that's
Not
great.
bad. What kind of car?
That's success.
Unfortunately, it was a Yugo, and I gave it to a previous girlfriend that drove off with it.
Oh, my goodness. A girlfriend that drove off with a Yugo. Wow, that's a song right there. That's a blues song.
Now, did you
It
use
certainly
that
is.
to pick up women? Like you may have heard my voicemails?
Did I do what?
Did you use your success to pick up women like you may have heard my voicemails?
There was no voicemails back then, Nick. It was an
Your
answering
answering
machine.
machine. I'm sorry. You may have heard me on an answering machine.
You're talking modern day. It was an answering machine. Things were machines back then. But, to be honest with you, here's one thing. Before Cat Line, as it became known as, I used to go out partying in the clubs. There was a big famous one here called 2001. It was a cool disco. And, that was the place to pick up chicks back then. But as time progressed, I started making these messages, and I started getting calls all the time. The nightclubs kind of became obsolete because you could definitely do the same kind of chick pickup on the phone line that you could do in a bar.
But wait a second. How would you know what they look like, Phil?
Yeah, that was a problem, and it did present a problem sometimes. I've got to admit that.
U.S. mail at that point.
Yeah. Did you ever end up in a situation where you thought you were talking to an attractive woman, and it ended up being just some disgusting pig?
So it's catfish before catfish.
Right. I mean,
Well, I don't know if I would go quite as far as to say pig.
Okay.
But I do recall one night being on the air at a radio station, and this girl called, and she had the sweetest, sexiest voice I've ever heard in my life. I thought, man, this has got to be a babe.
Right.
I mean, in fact, she was so hot sounding, I decided to go ahead and invite her to the house after I got off that night at midnight,
Sure.
She came over, and boy, I regretted that.
Wow, she didn't have all her teeth, huh?
Yeah.
No, she really didn't. We watched Dirty Dancing, so at least I could watch Baby and fantasize.
I see. So you didn't just sort of romance her just out of pity. You didn't give her the so-called the pity night, the pity bang.
No, I really didn't. I've not been one to do that.
All right. Now, you're moving onwards, though. I noticed that you seem most well known, at least in sort of pop culture today, for one of your artists, Mark Gormley. How exactly did you come across him? Because it turns out that all those songs were written back years ago, right? Back in the 70s, and then only now did you guys make a video out of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I was doing the local TV show, The Uncharted Zone, and every singer-songwriter, band, jazz act was on the show because it was kind of the thing to do then in order to help promote yourself and get your gigs. But as time went on, I started working a lot with individual songwriters, people that didn't have the capability to go out and gig and do all that stuff, but they still had their music and they still wanted to do it. And so Mark called me, and he wanted to do just that, come and make a music video. And he always said later on that it was just kind of a therapy for him, something to do for fun. Nothing that he ever expected any fame or anything like that out of.
So when you do these, they're kind of remakes, but videos, how does it become a money-making proposition? Since YouTube, it's really...
they're original songs.
Oh, they're original songs.
Original songs.
They're original songs, but
Gormley.
they were written years and years.
But
They were written in the 70s.
Mark Gormley wrote them in the 70s and only made a video and recorded them.
Okay, I got you.
Like
so it's still
4 or 5
original.
years.
It's still original music.
It's original material.
Wow.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I thought they were doing covers and bringing it back because YouTube goes nuts over that.
Right. Yeah.
How do you chart your success in the uncharted zone?
Well, I think in the early days it was because it was a need in the community. Working in radio for years in the old days, we were able to play local artists on the air. And as the corporations took over, that kind of stuff started disappearing. And so that's why I wanted to create this media outlet to help the local music scene. The success of it came at that point, or at that time, just from all the artists wanting to be on that was in this region. And, of course, all their friends and family and fans and everybody else began watching, and the local popularity began there. Now, on the Internet, I just started uploading. I didn't even understand YouTube at the time.
Do you understand it now?
Pardon me?
Do you understand it now?
Do I understand it? I understand more, let me say that.
Okay.
But I just started putting them up just as an extra showcase for the music videos that I was doing on the show. And somehow Mark's went viral.
So in terms of the zone, though, it's sort of ironic then that people were able to find the zone, being that it was uncharted. And in fact, how would they actually get, like, is that actually an entity in of itself? How would I get to the zone, that uncharted zone?
You could get to the uncharted zone through any of our web presence, of course. If
So
that's
it
what
exists.
You're saying. But if you're talking about the basic scenario that it's uncharted,
I'm talking about like the dimensional capabilities of the zone. Like, in other words, it's here. Like, in other words, we're going to be able to access it. I could go to the zone, right? The uncharted zone.
I think
Yes, you could.
I think Dan is talking about more the state of mind, because your show is projecting an attitude, right?
Right, and I think so. I think so. At least that's the hope I have.
And Dan wants to know, how does he get to that attitude?
Yes, that's exactly
that's what
it.
Dan wants to know.
I got to the attitude of wanting to do the uncharted zone. I wanted to fill a void that I felt was here in the local media. There was not there was not a media outlet for any of the local musicians to perform. And so I wanted to create that. And so that's what took me there, a want to help the music scene on the Gulf Coast.
So this is on YouTube and it's also on a website and so it's really like multimedia marketing of this of these acts.
Yeah, it seems very charted, actually.
Yeah, it does seem kind of odd now that there's a chart on the uncharted zone, but I don't know. I really don't know how it happened that it got so popular. I'm glad it did, because I think it's good for everybody. I think it's good for the music industry to have an area for the people that don't go mainstream, because there's great music that never makes it to the mainstream music scene.
Probably most of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Party all the time, hey, hey.
Yeah. Oh, that's the number one single. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're good
But
point.
so how many acts do you have?
Oh, I don't know. They come and go through the years. I mean, I have people, local songwriters come in and do 3 or 4 videos, and then I don't see them again for a bit. And I've had bands from out of town come by as they're on tour in this area. And so it's a lot of that. And, of course, there's been some people who were, in the early days especially, who were great artists that kind of are usually staple, I guess you could say, that you guys may have never even heard of, but they're Rusty McHugh and Mike Fincher.
Oh, I know them well.
Pardon me?
No, I think I've actually heard of them. I'm actually from Florida.
Yeah.
But I'm from Tallahassee. But they spread.
That's Eastern time zone, right?
Yeah, no, that's a different thing. But they spread. They're a little bit before my time, but I mean, they're sort of local legends, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they really were. Sadly, they're no longer
Yeah,
with
it's a
us.
tragedy. It was a tragedy. It was sort of a tragic thing. I mean, you do know the story that spread about how they died. I mean, there's that. I don't know. This is just coming from Tallahassee. I don't know if it's necessarily how it is over by you.
Well, I can't say that I've heard a story except for what I've been aware of living down here.
Oh,
So I don't know what the rumors could have been from Tallahassee.
Well, what happened?
Who knows what
Dan?
those folks said?
Wow.
Well, I mean, I don't want to go into it, but there was rumors very often about sort of some strange happenings. I mean, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Not really, but
Like
that's okay.
UFOs.
Yes,
Oh.
exactly. I'm looking. It was so you do know of it, right?
They went to the
Oh,
Uncharted.
yeah, we're
Zone.
real familiar with UFOs in this area.
But you've
Like
heard
Gulf
that
Breeze.
specific thing, right? Because that was the deal that it involved alien abductions. As a matter of fact, that this was, the whole probing of the anal orifice. This sort of started coming about back years ago, and that was one of the things that there was like a story involved with those two particular individuals as well, with Rusty McHugh and all them. That was
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, you don't think there's any truth to that rumor, right?
No, I really don't, because I think had Rusty been abducted,
Yeah.
I would have been one of the first people he would have told. I mean, Rusty was a great guy,
Right.
And I just don't think. Now, as far as some of the other players that I've seen him play with in bands, it's possible. It's possible
Okay.
some of them could have been abducted. I
Right.
would go with that.
Yeah. I mean, there was some strange
Rusty
guys.
himself, I don't think so.
So if somebody gets abducted, they usually will tell somebody, "Hey, I got abducted."
No,
Sure.
if they get abducted, they're gone.
No, they can be returned.
Oh, okay.
They can
Returned.
Some of them
return.
come-
Usually,
some of them
they're
come back, you're
usually
right.
they have some sort of tracking device in them.
Oh.
See, that's
Okay.
the issue.
All
But
right.
but so getting back to the music thing now with Mark Gormley, he's obviously your sort of most well known charge right now. Is he
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
live performances? What's his story?
Well, these days, no, he does not. Now, many years ago, he did do some stuff, but it was nothing on a major level because,
see.
of course, he didn't have the fame back then.
Right.
Now, Mark is pretty laid back, kind of a recluse, a little bit shy.
Really?
He's a great songwriter. He's working on music right now, and he seems to be getting passionate about it again. So I'm really
That's
hoping
great.
he's going to get serious and get some new stuff out.
Now, I wanted to ask
But,
you. I wanted to ask you something that you told me about Mark, which I find a little unbelievable. You said that the man does not have internet.
No, he does not.
Where does he live?
Well, he lives here in town. He could have internet. He just
chooses not to have it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's kind of old school, still digs TV and all that stuff, you know.
What TV?
Does he have cable?
What's the internet
Yes,
provider?
he
down
does.
there?
He does have cable.
Okay, that's good.
Are you guys
Now,
Comcast or?
Time Warner, no Channel 2. What is the criteria for like an artist to be put out, under your like label / Uncharted Zone?
Now,
What's your criteria?
I wouldn't actually call it a label, although maybe it's evolved into that on a couple of occasions, but nothing major. I would say I'm more of just a filmmaker, a music video producer, and so what I do at this point, I generally charge a fee, and it's usually a fee that an artist can afford because I like to keep it where musicians can actually do it.
$7.25, maybe something like that.
How many was that?
Oh, like around $7.25.
$7.25.
Yeah, maybe. No, I'm just kind of throwing,
I
not
have
just
done music
spitballing, just
videos
throwing a
for that,
number
but
out.
I've done them much lower as well.
Oh,
to
really?
me, it's more of an art, and I love
It's a labor
doing
of
it.
love, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Right.
And now, in the old days, I did everything for free.
Really?
After
Everything?
going through like 9 or 10 cameras that cost me over $1,000 a piece,
Wow.
I had to start charging a little bit just to buy cameras with.
What are you shooting on, a Canon 5D or something like that? Or
No, I'm shooting on a little Sony HD Handycam.
Holy shit!
Wow,
The hell
wow.
you say? Wow.
Now let me ask you something because the videos are very reminiscent of late 70s, early 80s. Are you still employing that technology, or have you learned After Effects yet?
Well, some of the videos you're probably referring to were earlier ones with earlier cameras. I mean, if you go back to the history of UZ, we started out with basically a VHS camcorder. So the quality of those things really changes through the years.
And just for our listeners, the UZ, I'm guessing, I'm just deducing, is more than likely going to stand for the Uncharted Zone. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. That's good.
That's why I saw up on the corner or something. I think.
Yeah.
It was in red.
Right.
It was in red.
Right.
Okay, I saw that. Okay.
So now the big thing with Gormley that everybody gets to eventually is the power stance. The origin of it, I want to know it now. And is it true that you were the one that actually told him to make that now legendary move?
Well, for a long time, I thought it was just something he did. But in recent weeks...
You're talking about standing upright and spreading
I'm sorry?
You're talking about when you say what it is he does, you mean standing upright and
I'm talking about
his legs.
whatever you're calling the power stance.
Right, that's what the YouTube
I'm sure it's
people
what I'm
called for.
calling.
Right,
So,
sure, go ahead.
Many years ago, I did a show in downtown Pensacola outside in some park on a stage, and I come across some pictures of me performing recently, and there I was, lo and behold, with my own power stance. So I look now back at our early video sessions that I shot Mark Gormley with, and I'm thinking maybe I may have advised him a little bit on that power stance. Now, I know I did on the look away. I told him to do that.
Really?
But on the power stance itself, it's possible I advised him on that as well because I after seeing the picture, seeing me doing it back in the 70s.
Sure.
It's called power stance?
Yeah.
Power stance.
Yes, I mean,
Do you want me to demonstrate it
Yeah,
for you,
please.
Brad?
Brendan, show him the power
Be
stance.
Be careful.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
See,
Is that shoulder width?
Yeah. You don't want to go too much. If you want to stretch, if you're going to go more than shoulder
slightly
width.
less than a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, that's key. Now, listen, the other thing that I'm very curious about, though, is in regards to Mr. Gormley. You say that he's now writing again. He's no longer really performing live. But let's also move to the other player in the video, and that is the woman.
Yeah.
Why is she lost?
Well, I'm not entirely sure why she's lost.
All right, well, who is she?
At least she's not hungry. I will say that
That's a
because
good point.
she did have the giant Cheetos.
And who is she?
Cheetos?
Her name is Nancy. She worked for me as a VJ here on our show for many years.
Now, Phil, I want to ask you something. Are you making a living at what you're doing?
Oh yeah, this is all I do.
This is all you do. I mean, and it's enough to pay the bills and get out of Mom's house?
Yeah.
All right.
Is there a part in the creative process that you like the most?
I actually like it in the edit itself because that's when I'm most creative. Mainly because it's kind of a laid back feeling. I'm right there by myself for the most part, and that's just what I enjoy doing best is creating something in the edit that's unusual, different, or unique.
Now, Phil, I want to ask you about your look.
Yeah.
Right now, you as I said before earlier on the show, you look like Al Pacino playing Phil Spector. Now, is that cultivated or is that just normal wear and tear?
I speculate it's normal wear and tear.
Okay, because we were just curious. I mean, in other words, when you get up and you look in the mirror in the morning, do you usually say when you're leaving the house? Do you say like, "Yes, this is what I'm going for"?
You know what, Phil? You have a caller.
Perfect.
Do you want to? Are you willing to take a caller?
Certainly.
All right, here you go. You're on Corrosive Radio. What's your question for Phil?
Yo, come on the radio, Corrosive Radio, what's going on?
We're doing good, but what's your question for Phil Thomas?
Listen, we're talking to like a manager here, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
so he is the manager, not just a manager.
Right, you consider yourself a manager?
Do I
Is that
consider
correct?
myself a manager? Not generally.
Right? Like different acts, different singers, different bands, right?
Wow, that's a strange voice on that guy.
It's definitely.
That's bass. I mean,
Yeah,
he could do something with that. I mean, Phil is. I mean, there is no shortage of people calling Phil a genius on the internet.
Listen,
So
Phil, you there? I wanted to ask you. Just to understand, you're a manager, right? You manage different acts, right? Like different bands, singers, right? Like the singer we were talking about, you guys were talking about earlier, right? We went viral on the internet.
I'll translate for you, Phil, if you couldn't hear that. He's just
Thank you.
basically rattling off your resume. Artist and manager, helping promote bands and artists. And I don't think the guy really had a question.
No, I think caller. I think you're asking that you want to be part of Phil's Uncharted Zone.
yeah, it's clear that this is what he's going for.
Isn't that what you want?
That'd be kind of cool, but I really like some of his acts that he manages.
Oh, okay. Well, and what act specifically?
Like the singer you guys were talking about who went on.
Mark Gormley. Yeah.
Right. So you're
who doesn't like him?
You're a big fan of Mark Gormely. So and is
That's it, Mark Gormley. Yes.
Well, Phil. I'm sure you get that a lot. I mean, he is sort of the one that's given you the most sort of internet.
I saw his Virals video.
Virals video.
Yeah, Virals video. Those are the best kind. Now,
well, certainly, Mark is. As far as managing him, I would not say yes on that because Mark doesn't do anything. He's turned down every gig he's ever been offered since the fame.
Really? Now, is he making?
Why?
Is he making money? Is Mark making money? We just, we were interested in knowing.
Is Mark? Yeah, he's making money.
Does he own the song? Does he still own the songs, or do he sell them?
He does. He owns the. In fact, he owns all the songs. Has the copyright on them all.
Really?
So if somebody wants to book Mark for a live appearance, he'll just turn it down?
Yeah, he will. He's turned down Jimmy Kimmel. He's turned down a gig up in Canada for $40,000 for 45 minutes.
Most people turn down Jimmy Kimmel. I'll just point that out.
I watch Jimmy Kimmel on TV all the time. Every night I watch it. He could have been on Jimmy Kimmel show.
Yes, we're talking about the Jimmy Kimmel show.
He turned it down? Why would he do that?
Why would he turn down Jimmy Kimmel? I mean, that's a great show.
Yeah,
he didn't want to do any live appearances. He didn't want to travel for that much. Like I said, he's somewhat of a recluse.
Let me ask you this, if I may. I'd like to know, some people, not many, but some people are speculating that a lot of the fame is due more to like a car crash mentality.
Novelty.
Yeah, that's a nicer way of putting it. Yeah, novelty. In other words, that it's sort of they're more voyeuristic. They're laughing at him and not really with him, or in this case, singing with him.
I've heard stuff like this.
You have. So what do you say to those people?
I say that for each his own. Whatever. If you think it's funny, laugh. I mean, it's entertainment. Bottom line.
But so do you think that's why he didn't go on Kimmel?
Personally, I think Mark's songs are deep. You can listen to the lyrics of these things, and he's a great songwriter. So anybody that wants to laugh at a great songwriter, I mean, go for it. I don't care. That doesn't really matter. And as far as the voyeuristic or anything like that. Let me say this. The first time I heard Mark's music, he brought over a cassette of his songs for me to hear, and he wanted me to just listen to them and see what I thought. So I played them, and when I got to Little Wings, I was amazed. I'd never heard anything like that.
Really?
It was so unique, in my opinion. And to me,
Had you listened to music?
Somebody makes it in show business. You're either the first, you're the best, or you're unique. And Mark definitely had unique.
Right. Now,
I love that song too. I've heard that song. Listen, I wanted to ask you also, why? I mean, no offense, but why are we talking to Mark Gormley? Why are we talking to this guy?
Well, Phil can answer that. I mean, he already did answer, but go ahead, Phil. Obviously the caller wants.
I need a translation again.
He's asking why he's saying why are we talking to Phil? Why aren't we talking to Mark Gormley?
Because Mark's unavailable.
Mark's unavailable.
Now, Phil, I wanted to ask you if Mark is not doing live appearances and he's got a bit of a recluse. How is he supporting himself? What does he do for a living? And if he's not taking advantage of his musical talent?
Well, of course he's taking somewhat advantage of it. I mean, he's getting downloads and CD sales. But he's also, he's apparently got enough money to live on. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know he's retired, so he's probably got some retirement coming in.
Let me
So considering the fact that you're a real sort of talent scout, and obviously you've been around the business for many, many years, decades even, we're curious if we, like, for example, we have a song right here. Brett knows what it is. Maybe we can get him to listen as well. I mean, it's just another chance to also put your song out there.
Sure, that would be great. I'd love to get a professional opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'd like to know what you think. Now, this is he's a very well-known comedian, but he's also has a foray. He's engaging in like a foray into music right now, and maybe this is someone you can offer him some tips. I mean, he's already sort of picked up, and he's, like we said, it's sort of the number one song right now, and it's been picked up by some major labels, but we'd like sort of your feedback on it, if that's all right. Is that all right, Phil?
Certainly.
Yeah, we're not going to play the whole thing. So
Right. We'll just give you the hook.
Yeah, we'll give you like a minute of it. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Party all the time, let's celebrate. 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 Forget about work, it's time to play. It doesn't matter if it's night or day. Time for champagne, work that corkscrew. Tell the whole world just to party with you. Come on. Party all the time, let's celebrate. Party all the time, let's celebrate. Party all the time, let's celebrate.
All right, Brett. You already know I think the song's awful.
Well, that's just coming from Brendan, but we want Phil's opinion. Phil, what do you think about that?
I could dig the song. It kind of sounds reminiscent to me of maybe a Beastie Boys track.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's so cool that you said that because that's when I was recording it. That's what I wanted it to sound like.
He was channeling Mike D. Is that right? Is that Mike D, right? He was in the Beastie Boys?
Yeah, Mike
He was the one who
D.
just died. All right. So
One of
yeah.
them died? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, one of them died.
unfortunately.
So, okay.
Oh, that's a great compliment. Well, thank you, Phil.
Do you think that's going to have legs? I mean, couldn't you see that in sort of like a jock jam context, like a stadium
Arena rock.
Right.
Yeah, I could see that charting. I could see that doing well.
Thank you. From your mouth to God's ears.
Well,
Yeah,
this is someone who knows. Now, speaking one last time, going back to your own history, are you ever going to put out some more music? Because many people are waiting to see your own sort of artistic pedigree.
Well, he has a song
right,
out.
and I've done 3 albums.
He's done Florida
three
Funk.
albums.
Yeah, right. But so we want new stuff. I mean, that's
Well, just recently I did release a track of the song I wrote in '78, and then I re-recorded it over the past several weeks and just released that. My thoughts on that are, I think the album is possibly becoming obsolete, and I think it's all about the song.
Yeah, I think that happened about 20 years ago. But yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, in this day's digital market, right? It's all about MP3s and singles.
Yep.
Well, see, when I released my Declawed album, I had some songs on it that I was just dying to release, but I didn't want to release anything until I got the CD out. And I don't like having those chains on me. I want to, when I do a song, I want to release it then.
Right,
Sure.
and I think the attention span is so little these days that people
What did you say?
Yeah.
people just want to hear a song. I think Phil.
Are you just parroting what I told you before the show?
Phil has his hand on the pulse of the music industry. That's exactly what's going on.
So with that being said, Phil, have you thought about getting back to your roots and doing, I guess now they'd be voicemails, doing those wacky voicemails again?
Right.
Good question.
And, it's funny. Somebody, I think one of you guys called here today, said there still is a message on what I call Catline. So yeah, there's still
I
some
called
out there.
you.
I just don't change them as much. But it's as far as where my career's going right now. I'm kind of laying back. I mean, I'm putting a little more effort into my music because for so many years I was focusing on everyone else and producing music videos and whatever
Sure.
I could for all these different artists, and I was neglecting my music.
Yeah, now it's
I
time for
didn't
Phil to do
realize
Phil.
Right, I didn't realize that I needed that just for emotional happiness. I learned that it really helps me to work with my music.
Stupid!
Go ahead, Phil. Phil,
What happened?
you got a caller, Phil. That's what happened.
Oh, okay.
All right, hello. You're Corrosive Radio. What's your question for Phil?
Hey, it's DJ here. Wow, I got to say, Phil, it's great to hear your voice. And I mean, I've heard a lot of your stuff. I've heard a lot of the viral guy that we were talking about,
Mike Gormley?
that you manage.
Yes, yes.
And I think this is really great that you guys are kind of like celebrating. It's like a music celebration, if you will. right? Because I mean, you sing, right? You were just talking about how you put out albums, and you have other singers that you work with. It's like there's so much music involved.
A lot of singing going on.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I had trouble expressing myself.
You hear him, Phil?
I think so.
Yeah,
right. What I'm basically just saying.
Explain
like,
it again.
Music is like it's the universal language, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You've heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Mm-hmm. Is that right when they say that? Or?
I think you're.
I think it's right.
Well, let's see what it's Phil think. Phil, is that right?
I think so.
Because
it is. I mean, because if it's not, then I would. Yeah, but
Right.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, and I'm thinking.
What about
like,
Esperanto?
I
Isn't
don't know.
that sort of a
just-
universal
I was
language?
just-
Remember
yeah, I'm just
Esperanto?
thinking, like music. There's so much music going on. It's the way we all communicate.
Yeah.
You do music. You know people do. It's like the way we come together.
Phil, is this music right now? Because we're all kind of communicating here with our souls. I mean, in a way, this could be music, right?
It certainly could be if we'd reached the harmony notes.
No, you can't. You can't. Music isn't talking.
Oh, I think so. It's communication at its highest level.
No, it's not.
Absolutely.
No, it's not the universal communication. We just. No, I'm
We
saying,
just said
I'm
it's
saying
the universal
music
language.
Is the universal
And Phil agreed with
communication
me.
that draws everyone together, that connects everyone. This doesn't connect people that don't understand what we're saying.
That's true. And you know what? Because you can be at an event and they can play a song from a different country, different language, and all of a sudden it can make everybody feel good. So I think the caller makes a valid point. That
No, wait,
music
don't make his point for him.
I think he makes you can go to a wedding, bar mitzvah, christening, whatever, and they play music, whether you know what they're saying or not. People can get up and enjoy it.
What I'm saying is that it's a universal language.
That's why we need to. That's why we need to stop the emphasis on lyrics. Because people can't understand words in different languages.
I sure
right?
can. I have trouble understanding them in this language, especially when they're coming out of your mouth.
Well, I think the
what do you mean
caller's
by that?
point is that everybody likes music, and we can all agree on that.
Yeah, like that's what I'm trying to convey. It's like I just want to express that, and I don't know.
Now, caller,
connected you.
Yeah, call it. Do you want to perform a song for Phil?
You mean right now?
Sure, why not?
Well, I'm not much of a musician. See, I'm more of an appreciator of music. I've actually never tried to sing before my whole life.
Well, what a spot! Except now is the time to kind of let it out, and we have basically one of the foremost talent scouts in the country here to sort of evaluate it. You might be the next internet sensation.
No, I mean I'm a little embarrassed now. I mean, you have to do a lot of training before you can sing, right?
All right. Well, if you can't do the song, we're gonna let you go because Phil's
a busy man, you know.
All right.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. All right. Don't feel bad. I mean,
Thank you for calling.
Yeah. No.
Thanks for your call, though, sir.
Yeah. Don't feel bad. I mean, there's suicide hotlines you can call if you're really feeling that bad. All right. All right. Good night, sir. And the caller, Phil, you had another call that was trying to get through.
Phil, the phone's ringing off the hook here.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently you really engender some real enthusiasm from our audience.
Well, that's cool.
Do you play an instrument, Phil?
Do I?
Yes.
Yeah, I play guitar and I play keyboard.
Now, is that like guitar?
Yes, it is.
No, because I mean, I noticed that a lot of people say that, like I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same thing. It's kind of like a violin or fiddle thing, right? Like it's kind of the same thing, right?
It's probably a northern and southern thing. We
That's
got
it.
some twang going on down
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
I just want to say something to the last person that tried to call. I'm not insulting you. Please call back.
But now let me just also get an opinion in terms of your idea. What are some of where do you draw your inspiration from? Growing up, who were the people that you loved? Were you an Ike Turner guy or
Otis Redding?
Otis Redding.
I was more
Ice Cube.
rockabilly. I dug Elvis and
Link Ray?
Link
I
Ray
like
is good.
the Beatles, but the band that I dug the most was a soft rock band in the 70s. I'm not sure you guys have even heard
Bread.
of them. They were
Air
called
Supply.
Bread.
Oh,
Brad,
Brad.
I was right.
You just said it.
I guessed
Yeah,
it. I guessed Brad, the guitar
I
man.
like to make it with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
David Gates.
That was my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, well, listen, they had a following. Absolutely.
If a picture paints 1,000. Something like that.
Yeah,
That's the Maybe I'm gonna want you.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Maybe I want you. I had the greatest hits on 8-track.
Nice. Remember the dun 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 dun, baby, it's the guitar man.
That's it.
Yeah, that's them, right?
Yes, it is.
Wow. Now, just to be clear, they have no relation to the actual food item.
No, they do.
No, they do not. But I do know one thing. The ticket I bought to their
One thing?
concert back in the 70s
Mm-hmm.
cost me $5.
Wow.
That's the one thing you know.
And they were a major act. You know, they had hits out.
Do you still have the
Now,
stub?
now a loaf
You know,
of
that's
bread
interesting
costs
because last year I got tickets to the Jets for $12.
How did you swing that?
Still
Who did
get
you have to
bread
blow for
tickets
that?
$5.
It was a Thanksgiving game because the season was so horrible.
Right. By that time,
I went to that game where I went to that game where the Patriots scored four
massacre.
touchdowns.
Yeah, of course
They
I
scored
remember
4
that.
touchdowns in 30 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have to listen to this film.
Yeah.
And my brother got arrested while he was there.
So you must have liked, if you really enjoyed Bread,
James Taylor.
James Taylor, and you also liked America.
And
Right.
Lobo.
The,
And Lobo.
the Carpenters?
Well, I guess the Carpenters.
No,
they were,
okay,
you know,
everybody was lukewarm
they
on
weren't
that one.
Quite as,
How about the B-52s? That's kind of the same genre, right?
I wouldn't say it's the same genre, but I did dig them.
Yeah, but what about Slayer? They're kind of like Bread. No, I mean, right? I mean, in a way, don't you think?
I've heard.
What about Yanni?
I went to a Slayer concert. They did Jailhouse Rock.
Yeah, no.
What
I mean,
about, did we mention Poco?
Poco was good. Sure. Leonard Cohen.
Right. All right, Phil. Listen, you got anything you want to plug here?
Yeah, please, by all means, use our vast listenership to hawk your
let me just
tchotchkes.
say, go watch my music video on YouTube. It's The Enterprise Room, Phil Thomas Katt, and there's another
Let's
one on
do
there
that.
called Competition
Okay.
by Phil Thomas Katt. I really dig that song.
Where can we find that? Is that on
One of the
YouTube?
best I've done.
That's on your YouTube channel?
Yes, it is.
And-
It's on the Uncharted Zone.
Uncharted Zone,
Can we
right.
pick-
And that's
can
also
we-
UZ
Brendan,
for
can we
people.
pull that one up? 'Cause
Yeah, all right, hold
I'd love
on.
to
Yeah,
hear that.
let's listen to some of this so our listeners can hear it right now. I mean, we're that sort of technologically
And
cued in.
callers, please hold on. We'll try to get to your calls.
Yeah, just
calm
1
down.
second.
There's I can sense that there's one caller that's pretty pissed off at me right now.
Well, we can't please everybody, and we're trying.
Oh, wait a minute, Phil. You've got another caller.
All right, we'll do that. Then let's see the video.
All right, Phil. Here you go. All right, you're on Corrosive Radio. What's your question for Phil Katt Thomas, the legendary producer?
Well, can you specify
Yeah,
that?
that's-
I mean, in reality, everybody can make these sort of blanket accusations, but I mean, what's your proof of that?
Yeah, I mean that's a very hissing noise.
I mean, really? Yeah, I mean,
Is that Richie from the comic strip?
well, I mean, 7 o'clock is a little early for us, but we'll get to the thing part about
Jimmy
Richie
Fallon?
from the comic strip.
Jimmy fell in the well.
All right. Look, sir, you got to get better with your soundboard. All right, listen to the other guy who called in. He does it right.
Absolutely,
all right?
absolutely.
If you want to talk to Phil through an electronic voice, you have to at least be discernible.
Phil, if I want to sound like Mark Gormley, how would I go about it? Is there like an app? How about that as an idea, like a Gormley app?
A Gormley.
Because he has that distinctive sort of high register voice, you know?
That.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear the song that Phil does.
Yeah, let's see what this is because
All right, so
everyone's been
Phil,
itching for this.
it's Phil Katt Thomas Enterprise, correct?
The Enterprise Room.
Is that have anything to do with the Star Trek Enterprise?
No, it actually has to do with a sidebar at the 2001 nightclub where you could take your date into private booths, and there was a live band in that room. It was just a sidebar that was kind of more romantic.
What did that cost?
It was a little more expensive.
Yeah.
It wasn't $5 for the bread counter, that's for sure.
No, it certainly wasn't. But it was Welfare Wednesday, so drinks were 25 cents. Who cared?
Welfare Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's Florida for you.
Yeah,
Wow.
if you need making fun of a social program is always the best thing to do if you're trying to get on a
Sell
corner.
drinks.
Yeah, sell drinks.
Push the place.
Absolutely.
So we have the song.
No, Phil. I'm typing in Phil Katt Thomas here, the Enterprise Room, and I'm getting some girl playing Beauty and the Beast. What's going on here?
There must be a commercial.
No. It's that's the name of the video.
Phil,
No,
are you
then
sure
it's
you
the wrong
didn't you didn't perform Beauty and the Beast?
No, I did not.
maybe it's in the,
I was offered
Uncharted
that,
Zone.
But I turned it down for
You were?
artistic reasons.
You did? You turned that song down, or?
Yeah, I just didn't dig it.
Huh. Interesting.
Oh, okay, here we go. The Enterprise Room by Phil. I typed in Uncharted Zone, the Enterprise Room. All right, let's hear Phil if there's an advertisement here. No, there's not.
80s survivor, Phil Thomas, Katt here. And this next music video I've been working on a while. Now the song's about a sidebar at the 2001 disco nightclub back in the 80s. The Enterprise Room was a more intimate part of that club with booths and a live band. The song's dedicated to Welfare Wednesday, which was the night that everyone went out with a pocket full of quarters because bar drinks were just 25 cents. This was a fun place back then. This music video actually takes you there. It's like a time machine that returns us to those wonder years of the 80s. Here's the Enterprise Room on the Uncharted Zone.
I've been watching you go from across the room. You look so good, I can't take my eyes off you. I've been watching you dancing. I really dig your moves. You shake so good, I can't take my eyes off you. Let's sneak off to the Enterprise Room where we can be alone. 2001's been lots of fun, but I'm looking for a song. You can bring your best friend.
All right, Phil, we're not going to play the whole song, but that's
I was just getting into it.
That is nice.
That is
nice.
pretty good.
Sweet.
And you got some pretty girls dancing there. Where'd you get those girls? The welfare program?
They were everywhere down here. This is
Really?
Florida.
Can you hook me up if I go down there?
Yeah, come on.
Let's get it just real quick. Let's find out a little bit about Phil's personal life. Are you married, or were you married, or what's the situation for the single ladies out there?
Well, I do have a lady, but
She got a ring on her finger?
no, I don't splurge for those generally.
Right. Yeah, the ladies or the rings?
The ring.
Oh, okay. Because I'll splurge for a lady. You know, sometimes you just don't feel like going out on a date. You know,
Sometimes
it's
3 times in one night.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. If I'm really worked out. But so yeah. Now this is all based off of that Enterprise spot in the club. I mean, what were some of yours? Did you ever like sort of engage in a lot of the sort of debauchery of the '70s? And that what went on in those disco things. I mean,
Oh yeah, back in not so much the '70s, more in the '80s.
Really?
When I was partying there.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
And yeah, man, we were going out every single night back then. I can't believe I survived it, honestly.
I'm not sure you did.
there's a lot of within rock and roll in its history. There's so many tales of drug abuse and alcohol abuse,
violence.
Violence, murder in certain cases. I mean,
Tax evasion.
Yeah, which of those did you engage in?
Well, never murder.
No murder.
No murder.
Okay, well, for the record, then he's not a murderer, people. But
manslaughter.
Yeah.
Can
we?
No manslaughter. I'm clear on that one.
Okay.
Tax evasion.
So there's going to be no
tax evasion. No, we made it on that one. We don't make enough to pay any.
All right.
But obviously in the '80s, I mean, I'm sure in a club like that, the cocaine was freely, being used, and all these other sort of drugs and alcohol. I mean, it seems essential to the music scene, at least at that point. What do you think about that?
Well, it probably was. I never was much of a person to get involved in that too much. I did some drinking, and I probably, burn a doobie or two or time or two.
What's a doobie?
Other than that, no. That's what we call it down here.
What's that?
Huh?
That's heroin?
No. Like a joint.
A joint.
Marijuana.
Wow, I never heard.
Oh, yeah, like the weed. Oh, you were on the pot?
Wow, so you were crazy.
Oh, man. But haven't you ever seen Reefer Madness?
Yeah, I did, and it scared the hell out of me.
I could, well, not enough, sir. But did it help you with the songwriting? I mean, so many people say that that's really where a lot of these great artists get in touch with their inner sort of feelings. Do you feel like that stuff helped?
Well, honestly, back in the 80s when I was partying and drinking and all that and so much, I wasn't utilizing my creativity much. I was wasting it just, chasing chicks, I guess.
Well, there's a creative process there.
You're not kidding.
But I will say this, those memories that I have of some of that chasing has turned into some really cool songs nowadays.
Really?
Oh.
Would you recommend drugs and alcohol to our children listening, or no?
I would.
No, I never would do that.
You don't? Okay.
Especially alcohol. That stuff sucks.
But drugs, maybe,
No, not
I mean,
drugs either. I don't like those either.
Right.
All right,
Okay.
Phil, we're gonna take one more caller for you, and we're gonna let you go. Okay? Well, you know what? He just hung up. Never mind.
Before we go tonight, we'll hear the rest of the song on the way out?
Yeah, we'll hear the rest of the song. Phil, you don't mind if we play the rest of the song, do you?
No, I would like that.
Someone keeps trying to call you, but they keep hanging up. But all right, we're gonna.
Everybody's trying to speak
yeah.
with him, so it's understandable.
All right, Phil. Is there anything else you want to plug before you go here?
No. I've just had a good time talking to you guys.
Yeah, we had a great time. We had a great time. It was a lot better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
All right, Phil. Good night.
Thanks for that.
You're great, man.
All right, spread the word about this show, Phil. We'll do our best for you. Okay.
Okay. Have a great night.
All right, take care. We're gonna play a song now. All right, here we go. Yeah, guys, we're gonna get out of here, and we're gonna leave you with "The Enterprise Room" by Phil Thomas Katt. Good night.
'80s survivor, Phil Thomas Katt here. And this next music video I've been working on a while. Now the song's about a sidebar at the 2001 disco nightclub back in the 80s. The Enterprise Room was a more intimate part of that club with booths and a live band. The song's dedicated to Welfare Wednesday, which was the night that everyone went out with a pocket full of quarters because bar drinks were just 25 cents. This was a fun place back then. And this music video actually takes you there. It's like a time machine that returns us to those wonder years of the 80s. Here's the Enterprise Room on the Uncharted Zone.
I've been watching you, girl, from across the room. You look so good, I can't take my eyes off you. I've been watching you dancing. I really dig those moves. You shake so good, I can't take my eyes off you. Let's sneak off to the Enterprise Room where we can be alone. 2001's been lots of fun, but I'm looking for a zone. You can bring your best friend. There's always room for two. The high fives are on the bandstand now, and I'd like to dance with you. I've been dreaming of you since you walked in this place. It's Welfare Wednesday specials, girl. Have the